got their food and everything, so we'll get the program started here. And the reason why we are here, not just for the good food, but I think everybody hear me okay back there in the back? You guys good? Okay. Anyway, I'm Tim Davis, the play-by-play guy for the Ballard Network. I've had the pleasure of being part of this, what this is, which is pretty incredible these last couple of years. But this is a cool deal. We did it last year for the guys. The senior parents did. We only had a couple last year, three seniors, I think, and then the senior moms this year wanted to put something together for you guys, the players, and for your families to have. And so we are live right now on the Ballard Network. So if you got family that's somewhere that can't be here, and you say, hey, you can log in or get online on the YouTube, and you can watch this live. So if you're at home, we appreciate you for tuning in. But what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to have you come up 2 by 2. I'll call you up, your players. We're going to have you pick a couple questions for you underclassmen. We'll get a little more in depth with the seniors as we continue on. The only thing I ask is you got to kind of speak into the microphone and then speak up, because this is the mic that they can hear us with at home, okay, in here. So with that, we'll have our first couple guests come up, and I've got it here. So it'll be Mr. Evan Kinzenbaugh and Mr. Max Wilson. If you guys want to come up here and just get in the hot seat. And that mic is live, guys, so we're doing okay, Danny? We're doing good? Okay. All right, fellas. Well, thanks for being here. What I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you each pick a question here, and then I'll read it out loud. You pick, and give it to me. Max, you pick one. Okay. Evan, let me see yours. Here's the question, and these were just made up here this afternoon. Thank you, Megan Munn. If you could plan a practice, Evan, what would that look like? If you could plan a practice. That microphone's live over there, so you can just hold over by if you need to.
Probably scrimmaging and then having team meal after, because we just played a lot.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's a great practice plan. You just scrimmage, roll the ball out, and play 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like it's definitely how you make state tournaments year in, year out, with that type of thing. Maxie, let me see what yours says. Oh, what's your favorite locker room memory? Remember, there are people watching at home. Okay, maybe grandparents. There are young people here. Max?
Probably when we just would listen to music and get hyped before games.
Okay. Is there a certain song that does it for you?
Pluto Ski.
I have no idea what that is. Did you say Pluto?
Yeah.
Pluto Ski, like the Disney character?
No.
No, okay. Is it a rapper?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to listen to it at some point. Okay. Guys, what do you, and I'll ask this to everybody, but what are you most looking forward to this week?
To have fun on the bench.
Okay. Hey, you got to have a great bench, right? You got to have a great bench.
Yep.
Right? Evan, what about you?
Probably locker room and getting some energy for the people that are actually playing.
You bet. And I will say this, and you probably, if you tuned in, and this is not a knock, but I have a saying for our bench guys. They're the 20-20 guys. You're up by 20, you're down by 20, you're getting in the game in the last 2 minutes, right? And so far in the postseason, we've got some action in the 20-20 guys, right?
Yes. So
we'd like to see that happen again on Tuesday, if we can, on the right side, right? Okay. Hey, thanks, guys. Give them a round of applause, guys. Thank you. Evan, Max. Next up, we will bring up Alex Weeks and Blake Crow. Come on up. Pick a question, Al. Pick a question, Blake. Okay. Now let's see what yours says here. Alex, quit being so serious, okay? Sure. Sorry. This is a good one. Who has the most superstitions on the team? Do you have any? Do you know that? Do you know if anybody has any? Can't speak into that microphone.
I think Miles has the most superstitions.
What can you give someone? Yes.
I don't really know him.
What do you have? Do you have any of your own?
No, I don't.
I
don't have any.
No? Okay. So you think Miles. We'll ask Miles out later on. Let me see your question for you now these guys. If you could play with any basketball legend Who would it be and why?
Probably Michael Jordan. He's the GOAT.
Why? Why would you want to play MJ?
I don't know. I think it'd be fun because he probably whoop me.
Yeah, I was going to say he put it on you. I think he's like 60, and I still think he probably could.
Yeah, probably.
But he's a legend, right? Mm-hmm. Guys, and the guys are just up here with Evan and Max, obviously being part of it, right? Day in, day out practice. It's a grind for you because you're not seeing a ton of minutes. But what makes it special to be part of this group? Go ahead, Mike.
I don't know. It'd probably just be like along with the team, like on the run we've been on. Really fun. I enjoy being part of this team, so it means a lot.
There you go. Al, what about you?
Like Blake said, I think all the guys here are just amazing to hang out with. It's just a really fun experience to be with them.
And we'd like to keep that going for another week, right? Mm-hmm. As long as we can. All right, fellas, thank you. Give them a hand, guys. Mojo, come on up here, my friend. PD, Parker. Pick a question. Any question? I'll pick it for you, Parker. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite away gym in the Raccoon River Conference and why? Favorite gym to play at outside of ours in the Raccoon River? Yeah. Do you remember who's in the conference, Mojo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably. Carlisle.
That's a good gym. I like that gym. Yeah, it's a lot of light coming in there. Yeah, that's a good gym.
Yeah.
And we won down there, right?
Yeah.
That makes it even better. All right, I like that. Good answer. Let me see that, PD. I'll read it out loud for you. Okay, getting 3 home games on the road to state was awesome. What was your favorite part? I know you've been practicing with the guys, right? But you were in the crowd, right? But what was your favorite part of this run so far?
Going out and beating everyone 20 plus.
Beating everyone by 20 plus. That's pretty good. Guys, if in your perfect world, Mojo.
Yeah.
In your perfect world this week, what does this week look like for Mojo?
Getting a lot of sleep.
That's a great answer. And I'm with you there.
Yeah.
You like to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like to sleep.
You like to sleep? Okay. Yeah. Parker, what about you? What does it look like for you this week? I mean, because it's a big week.
Just going to state, having fun.
Okay. Is that it? He just wants to go to state.
Winning,
right? There you go. All right, there you go. Thanks, guys. Get out of here. It's time to be in the hot seat. Bryce Miller, Kate Naganoff, come on up here. These guys are on the all hair team, by the way. You guys got great hair. Great hair. Pick one. Thinking about this one? CA? Okay. What's the funniest part of the bus rides? This is, again, people watching at home.
Probably Chode picking on Mojo.
I don't even know who that is. That's a nickname?
Putting Mojo on a split,
Okay.
probably.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so Chode picking on, okay, all right. Let me see that, Bryce. That's camaraderie, right? We call that team camaraderie. Tell me about your pregame routine, Bryce. What do you eat? What do you do? What does that look like?
All right, so I start off with Subway. I get chicken, cheese, lettuce, all in that sandwich.
Okay.
I like the raspberry cheesecake cookies from Subway.
That's very specific. I love that. Continue on.
I get to the gym, I eat it. I usually have an energy drink before, and then I put on my clothes and my jersey. And then we usually, for home games, we go to the locker room and listen to music before, and then I have to go turn my phone in for the pregame playlist, and then we start.
So do you have this same sandwich For every game?
No,
Okay.
not in particular, but
Are you gonna?
that's
are you
my
gonna-
go-to.
This week though, are you gonna be? I mean, we've got a little different schedule. So what does it look like for this week?
I'll probably get Chick-fil-A at the Well tomorrow. but
Okay. That's
I'm
a
not.
good choice.
I'm not sure yet.
That's a good choice. CA, I got another question for you here. Obviously, tough luck with the knee, right? It's a crappy deal, but what you got yourself back this year, and I want to just go back to the Boone game where you shot the lights out of the gym. What was that like for you after you coming back from the ACL last year and then being on the floor and being part of this, because you've been a huge part of this year. What was that like for you? It's a big deal.
Felt amazing.
Okay. It felt amazing. He's a man of
Yeah.
a few words, right? It just
Yeah.
felt amazing?
Yeah.
Okay. What's it mean to you to be a part of this basketball team? These guys are all going to be in the hot seat too, so don't worry.
Probably putting work in day and day out so we can give every team belt that they deserve.
You bet. Bryce, what about you? What does it mean to be part of this?
It means a lot. I mean, it's a lot of fun every single day, getting to practice with everybody, and everybody has a lot of energy at practice, so that makes it a lot better.
Okay. All right, you guys get out of here. Thank you, guys. Give me a round of applause, guys. Dylan Schoen and Easton Ursuline Wind and Fire. Come on up. Got a couple of questions left we haven't seen yet, so go ahead and draw one of those out there for me, Dylan. Just take a pick. Okay. Got it? Dylan's thinking already like, who eats? This is a great question. This is great, Mike. Who eats the most on the team?
I don't know, actually. I'd say me, maybe.
Yeah, do you eat a lot?
Yeah, I eat a
What's
lot.
your go-to?
Like Ponch burrito.
Ponch burrito,
Yeah.
like the massive
Uh-huh,
one. Okay.
yeah.
That's like $38 nowadays.
Yeah.
That's a lot of burrito.
Yeah.
Let me see yours, Easton. See your question here. Oh, who's the best dancer on the team?
That's tough. Parker and Jude are both really good dancers.
Really?
Yeah.
PK and Jude, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What makes them good dancers?
I think it's the footwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. Speaking of footwork, being a post guy like you are, you kind of float around a little bit. What's it been like for you guys, especially this year, kind of coming into this team and getting some pretty big minutes? What's that been like? A little bit of an adjustment from JV to varsity? What's that been like, Easton?
Yeah, for sure. The game's definitely way faster, and it took a little bit of getting used to, but last year, in practice and stuff, playing against them, definitely got us better and prepared. So it's been a lot of fun.
You bet. Dylan, what about you?
I agree with everything he said. And last year, we had a team called the Red Jerseys, and we would kill them a lot. So, but
You get on?
Yeah.
So this isn't by accident what we're
Uh-uh.
seeing right now. You guys are putting it on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Lincoln, the chef over here, Miller, he's giving it, the Miller Brothers. Okay. Guys, thanks for coming up here. Good luck this week and give them help. All right?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Mr. Jude Gibson, well, the dancing crew. PK, Jude Gibson, come on up. The dancers. There's only two left, so Judy gets to take a look at PK the other one. Chance to read it. Let me see it. Oh. Who's the best singer on the team, and who's the worst singer? Who's the best singer on the team, Jude?
I don't really. I mean, we rap. I don't think we sing.
I'm gonna tell you that's not singing. I'm just gonna.
I don't think we sing. I mean, we play. I mean, since we have the gym to ourselves now, we've been playing a bunch of rap music. So that's.
Okay.
I mean, when it's a song we all know, we all started dancing to it a couple of days ago, actually.
Okay.
And we just
So who's the worst rapper?
probably Alex.
Appreciate your honesty. PK, let me see your question. Oh, this is a good one. This is fun. So Greg Boyer, is he a decent bus driver?
No.
Okay. Greg, if you're tuned in live, that's a shot right at you. What makes for a good bus driver, PK? Like, if you're going to pick out, like, if you're going to make a bus driver, what's it got to be?
No curb checks, no like brake checks, slamming on the brakes.
Okay.
Bump, yeah. Not hit the bumps in the road.
Okay. Wow. Does Greg do that? Is he? Like,
Yeah, he did a couple times.
Okay. All right, guys. As we get into this week, and as we've gotten through, the last couple of years, you guys were key contributors last year, and obviously this year. What's it meant to you this year, as far as you had a bullseye on your back? You started out the year ranked 1, 2, and now here we are. We're going in as a 3 seed. We got nipped just a couple of times, but what's it been like this year for you guys? You're underclassmen, but PK, you've been in high school 2 years and you made 2 state tournaments. Jude, you've been here 3 years and you made 2 state tournaments. What's that like?
I mean, every game we know it's going to be tough. Every possession counts. We just look forward to every game and play our best. And yeah.
Yeah, Jude.
I think with us, as soon as we start playing, I mean, even before, but we're really locked in when we're on the court. And I think we just take it really personal. And we want to get that first championship for Ballard, too. So
that's a great answer. I think you guys got a heck of a chance. So it's a big week ahead of us. But thanks for coming up, guys. Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. Let's go with Lincoln Miller, Jackson Scott. Come on up, fellas. I won't make you guys draw questions since you're dealing with guys, since you're seniors. Okay. So we'll kind of get into this a little bit more in depth with you seniors. What's the last 2 years? What's that been like? What's your biggest takeaway from the last couple of years? Maybe even from last year to this year. What's similar? What's different? What does that look like?
I mean, obviously, as you can tell, we've had a lot of fun. Our team spends a lot of time together, not even just in practice, but off the court. We hang out a lot. It's really good just to be with the team, and I'd say our coaches put in a lot of time and effort as well. You don't see a lot of teams that play the style of game that we do, and I feel like that plays a big role in our success.
Absolutely. Hey, Jackson, I got a question for you, and Lincoln just kind of touched on it, but what makes this group pretty special from your point of view?
What makes it special?
Yeah.
I feel like we're all connected in a way where, like, we can all talk to each other in, like, I don't know, we can just all talk to each other. Yeah.
You got a good relationship, right?
Yeah.
And you're a team, and that's what it takes. That's why we're in the spots that we're in. Lincoln, I got another question for you, and I'll ask both of you this, and all the seniors. But who's had the biggest impact on you throughout your career? I guess being a senior, and who's had that? And it can be anybody, but who's had, would you say, the biggest impact on you?
I like to have a lot of fun. Coach Strawn makes practice a lot of fun. We like to mess around a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say we keep it fun, and that's what I like to do. So
there you go. Jackson, what about you?
I gotta say my dad. You know, my whole career he's been coaching me on and off the court, and I've learned a lot. And yeah, I gotta say my dad. 100%.
Kind of cool to have your dad
100%.
with you. This is a pretty good experience. Pretty cool for you guys. Mm-hmm. Guys, you have something very special in front of you, and you guys have been part of this basketball program, and you've really put us on the map. And so, and it takes all of you, and it takes a good group of seniors, and you guys are part of that group, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun to watch you guys play, and you can tell you play with a lot of joy out there because it exudes off of you. So appreciate you guys coming up, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Mason Gasher, come on up, and downtown Jackson Brown. How we doing? Good?
Good.
You guys good? Jackson, you've assumed the nickname Downtown Jackson Brown. I gotta ask you, how has that changed your life?
Quite a bit. A lot of people know me as that. Like someone will come up to me in the hallway, like when I'm out in Slater helping my mom, like a young kid. Oh, it's downtown Jackson Brown.
How awesome is that?
It is really cool.
I mean, and you painted your parking spot at the high school.
Yeah, I did paint my parking spot downtown Jackson Brown.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
You're
for sure.
welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's not me taking credit, but it's well deserved. Mason, talk to me about this year with the injury and then coming back off of the injury. What's that been like for you?
It's been interesting. It's been fun, not so fun having to watch, but
Sure.
I'm excited to be back. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about the North Pole game. We talked a little bit in the interview after, but it was like you kind of played like a man possessed in that North Pole game in the semifinals. Why? Like what was that about?
I don't really know. I kind of just, the brothers gave me the balls in the right spot and made some buckets.
You did make some buckets, which was impressive. Get that microphone back over here, Jackson. Jackson, who's had the biggest impact on you? We talked a little bit in the interview after the game the other night, but who's had the biggest impact on you as far as just you as a person or a player or whatever you want to go with here?
For me, especially basketball-wise and like how I am as a person, probably my dad. He's like never said no to like going to get up shots with me. He's always there to rebound for me even when I'm in a really bad mood. If I'm missing every shot, he's heard me say about every word in the book, but he still puts up with it, and he's the reason I'm the person and player I am today.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. Mason, same question to you.
I'll also say my father. He's been a good role model to me, and I've been able to learn a lot through him.
Yeah. What does it mean to you guys to have this happen here? Like this, what's going on right now? What does this mean to you?
It's pretty special. We have a great community behind us, and I kind of think that brings us all together and helps us play. Absolutely. Just as a team.
Well, Jackson, you take this back one more time. And this is live, by the way, so and I think I already know your answer, but I'm going to ask you, what's your expectation for this week, Jackson?
Go win the state title. There's no other reason we're going there but to win. We shouldn't have any other mentality but to go win a state title.
I knew that's the answer you were going to give, and that's a good one. Thank you, guys. Give them a round of applause. Last but not least, Miles, Elmer, Mudd. Miles, and the only reason you're up here by yourself because there's an odd number, so this is how this worked. Okay, I figured you could handle it. Miles, we talked a little bit in the interview after the game the other night as far as talking about injuries and things like that and what you've been throughout your high school career. But basketball's been the constant, I would say. I mean, you got a little nicked up and kind of came in a little bit later this year and a little bit nicked up last year. But what has it meant to you these last 2 years and the spots that we've been in and that you've been in?
Like what Gatchel kind of said, sitting out sucks, and I've had to sit out football for 2 years, and it's just special to be on the court and with this group of guys. It's fun and winning, and so I'm excited for what's to come.
For sure, and you got the nickname. So if you're wondering about Elmer, it's not like Elmer Fudd with the Wascally Rabbit. That's not it. It's more based on glue, like Elmer's glue, because it seems since I've been watching Miles for the last couple of years and calling his game, he's kind of that guy that's like the glue that kind of holds things together, and that's where that nickname's come. Do you feel like that's kind of what you do and what you're pretty good at?
Yeah, I mean, I like the name.
You like the name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
I just try to do whatever the team needs me to do, and
What's it meant to you? I guess with just this being your senior year and kind of how you ran through the sub-state, and now here we are with a great opportunity in front of us.
I mean, yeah, it's just been awesome to go out this way, and we're not done yet, but last year was a good little preview for us, and we knew in the summer that we were going to be pretty good, and so we kind of all just worked hard, and now it's starting to pay off.
Absolutely. Who's had the biggest impact on you?
My dad, definitely. Just not in just basketball, but like baseball and just in life.
Yeah. What would it mean to you to win a state title?
It'd be pretty awesome, I remember going to the well with my grandpa at a young age, watching all those guys play before me, and that's something that I've always wanted to do, and so it'd be pretty special to go out like this.
speaking of that, and I've got a picture. I've got a couple pictures on my phone, and I'll show Miles here. But the other night when those young kids were up on top of the bleachers, right before we finally pulled the bleachers down, there was all these guys. So you see all these guys here, and they're just going crazy, right? What would you tell those guys right now? What would you tell those little people that were watching that game, that were cheering their faces off for you? What would you tell them?
I'd tell them to just keep bringing that energy, and there is a picture of us when we were that young, doing the same thing for the guys that were playing. And so I just,
Got it right here.
yeah,
You see all these hooligans. So you would tell those guys. What would you tell these guys? What would you tell that Miles Mudd and that Mason Gatchel and those guys? What would you tell those guys?
I have no idea.
Like holy crap, we did it.
Yeah.
Like we're here.
Yeah.
Because you were cheering these guys on to make a state tournament.
Yeah, that was.
And now here you are.
Yeah, and Gatchel banging on a trash can.
Yeah, I saw that trash can. I don't know if that's legal, but it was then, so that's awesome. I don't know what it means. Maybe they're trash. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just cool to see those little kids. Or we actually had to have a delay for them to pull out the bleachers, and kind of just reminded me of when we used to do that, and it's fun to see it.
Culture, right?
Yeah.
It's a culture here. And I was talking to Brant Miller earlier. He said he's out for a walk, and there was like 25 kids out shooting baskets in their driveway. When we left our house, we had 6 little boys in our driveway shooting baskets. That's not an accident. That's something that you guys have created, and all those little people see you and they want to be you, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable thing. Miles, thanks for your time, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna bring Coach Schertz up here. But before we do that, I want to give his mom and dad a shout out. Jeannie and Blaine are here from Huntsville, Alabama. Correct? So they drove all the way up. So pretty cool to you. And I was talking to Coach Schertz's mom, Jeannie, and she said, we packed for 2 weeks. And I said, well, that's good, because they got here last week, and that means they want to stay here the whole week and watch basketball throughout. So, Coach, I'll ask you some questions, but I just off the jump here, your mom had mentioned something to Megan about one of her favorite memories of you. Did you get a half-court shot to win a game at some point?
I did in middle school.
In middle school?
Yeah. I remember not being able to breathe at the bottom of the pile.
Oh, wow, the dog pile.
Yeah, and I'm not big, and so it took all of them to get off of me. I wasn't pushing anyone off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it was a game winner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Were you down, or was it tied, or what was it? I know you remember this.
It was overtime. I want to say we were down 1. I think we won by 2.
There you go. So
it was a loose ball. Like
it was a hustle play. Right?
Well, I threw it up the left side of the court.
Okay.
Ball came into me. Threw it up left side of the court. He dribbled it, threw it to another guy near the middle. He lost it. A buddy, it was in our wedding. David Whitener dove on it, kind of rolled a little bit, threw it to me near the logo. Shorter court, but
sure, yeah.
I took one dribble to my left, looked at the clock, threw it up, banked in.
Mind you, folks, this was in middle school, and he just gave you the entire breakdown. So we don't have to wonder why we're in the spot that we're in here with Coach Schertz. So that brings me a lot of joy. Coach, so we talked on the phone a little bit today, and you told me before you got here that we made it, and now and then in your 6 years, right? This is your 6th year here.
Correct. Yeah.
And we've made it 4 out of 6, and we've 5 out of 7.
Yep.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. How have we been able to do that?
Well, let's start with this. First of all, we have no plans for these 2 weeks, so thank you guys for winning the other night, because we'd just be sitting around the house staring at each other with my parents with nothing to do. So I appreciate that. All right. And then also thank you everybody for tonight. I know you might be getting to this later, but this is a lot of fun. This is really cool. So parents in flight, thank you for setting this up. I wanted to make sure to say that before, just to everybody, just get it out there. This is special. This is cool. So thank you. Something about
how did we get here? Maybe.
Well, I mean,
4 and 6 years in
Yeah, Ballard's got a strong tradition, and I may have looked back, in the past, but I don't remember it. Obviously, Coach Deason's last year got to the state tournament. A lot of those guys returned, and there was a number of young ones on that team, and so in no way, shape, or form did I or we like create something brand new. It was more of just kind of building and. Maybe a little bit of a reset on expectations. I guess that kind of took some time, and some of that maybe came from me. Some of that definitely came from our players. I talked about it the other night after we won. I still text with a lot of those guys. Mason Murphy sent me a text today about an hour before we left for this. But Cade Reinertson was the one that I'll give him credit. We were talking in the summer, just sitting in the gym, and he's like, I was asking about 3A and teams and all this stuff. He's like, Coach, we should run 3A. I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's awesome. That's great. Let's do it. And so I think, those guys had it in them a little bit. And obviously, we've had talented players. And those guys have continued, y'all were, I don't know, I do the math, 5th grade, something like that, around that time. If you're a junior now, roughly. And so having those guys, the older ones, the former ones, at and around camps and talking to the people, not being too big or too cool to interact with the younger players, which that's something that we see with you guys right now. You couldn't keep those elementary school kids off the court, and you couldn't get them back in the bleachers either because y'all were picking them up and high-fiving them and patting their heads and all this stuff. So I think keeping it going, in every job or coaching situation has its own, not challenges, but, you're not going to go from worst to first necessarily, but you can elevate in various ways. And so I tried to identify some ways early on, and then we've kind of just kept the momentum rolling. And between then and now, there have been a number of groups that have, in some form or fashion, just kept that going. And I tell this, you guys last year, we had I make you fill out that piece of paper at the beginning of the year. And it was last season that it was always, we want to make it to state. We want to make it to state. And I mentioned last year, I handed the papers back and made all the guys change their writing. This year, there was not one in that question, what do you want to accomplish together or as a team at the end of the year? There was not one person that didn't write win a state championship. And so maybe that's kind of like the next level, that we've risen to or are trying to accomplish. Sure. And obviously we're talking about some of that here tonight.
And then that was
slide over a little bit.
Absolutely. That light is right in his eyes. So that was what I was going to ask you, and you kind of led me to that question, is difference between last year and this year.
Hope versus expectation.
That's a great answer. Explain that.
The team last year was probably not quite as good or as finished of a product and had a lot further to go. Mm-hmm. Less experience, like on the court, logging miles on the court, minutes on the court. We lost Owen and Nolan, and so other than those two guys, there was a lot of contributions that came back, and with that comes some expectations, and I kept telling them throughout the year, like, I want to try to put pressure on you in different ways because it's not always going to be created, for us by our opponent, or we're playing somebody that's better than us or whatever. And so, we got some of that with the rankings, and that was great. That's awesome to be recognized that way. And, we were in some close games, and we lost a game, and, then I think everyone, all of our fans are great. Y'all are crazy, but in a good way, like in a really fun way. But I think everybody, like our players, coaches, fans, we want it to be perfect all the time, but it's not. And so then we go through these moments, throughout the year, and that's a little bit of pressure. And it's like, oh, what if this or what if that? And then of course we've had injuries. I've said this before. I think we've played 2 games this year with our full if you want to call it 11-man kind of rotation, which we did a lot of this year. It was basically a 10-person rotation for every game but 2. Gatchel and Ankles and now Caden and all of this. So, going through that and trying to put pressure on ourselves in different ways and trying to just keep getting better. And, we made it to the state tournament now, which is awesome. And we have confidence that we can go down there and play well. And if we do that, I like our chances. Against anyone. Anything can happen, obviously, but I feel like we have a chance. Whereas maybe last year it was just like, all right, cool, like let's get this ball and let's go have a good time and.
Right. Happy to be there, right?
Yeah, happy to be there.
We made it.
And we're still happy to be there because it's a big deal. And it doesn't happen 4 and 6 or 5 and 7 years. That doesn't happen in most places.
Yeah. As far as, and we're not going to get into X's and O's or anything like that, but like from a practice standpoint, when you play as many guys as we play, and I watch our JV games. I've been to a ton of the JV games. We play the same way. What are the practices like? As far as you talk about putting pressure, but it seems to me like when we get into a game, this isn't the first time that we've done this or seen this. But as far as like the practices, they got to be fairly intense and highly competitive. Just looking at the guys that we have in this room.
Yeah, I guess 2 parts. The latter part of the season I'll get to in a second, but early on, our JV group was nowhere close to where they are now, and that also made it to where they were nowhere close to being able to compete with. Let's say our 11 that we've rotated. So kudos to those guys and to Coach K. We did a lot more separate. We had to start in a different spot with them, and then grow to where, they're caught up. They're able to do this, that, and the other. They're able to play dribble drive. There's obviously a little bit of a size difference, with some of the bigger, older varsity guys and some of the sophomores on the JV and. Boy, there were moments I'd call Coach K on the way home early in the year, and he'd be like, gosh, we can't do anything because the varsity guys were just turning the JV guys over like possession after possession after possession. And I was like, yeah, like it'll be good for them. It's good for the varsity guys. It'd be good for the younger guys. And then by the end of the year, they were playing against, our defense in a really effective way. We play sometimes some shorter games, and I know the JVs, won some of those. And so as the year went on, we became a little more and more together as far as just what we could choose to do. It was just unlimited, really. We could go JV against varsity, varsity against varsity, whatever we wanted, and have good competition. And then Coach K would obviously take them at times and work on something specific for their opponent. But we had our JV and our varsity together all year. It was upwards of, depending on who was out, 22 to 24 guys at times. Yeah. And they were really good practices. They were a lot of fun. In using the space we had over there, which was why our schedule kind of juggled some. We'd be early some days, we'd be late other days. But getting that space and getting everybody in there competing against each other, I think it has really paid off over time. You don't see it from one day to the next, but you see it from November to March.
For sure. You talked about expectations, and I've said it on the air a couple times, and some of these guys have probably heard me say it, but with great expectations comes great responsibility as far as what that looks like. And throughout this entire year, you have you've embraced them. I mean, as the program, we had a little deal on the news, and they came up and interviewed us, and we were very candid in some of our answers as far as like this is what we want to do, and this is the purpose that we're here. I guess the question I want to ask you is, what are your expectations for this week?
That we go play well, that we go play incredibly hard. With those expectations, the responsibility is for us, and we've done some of this, is to get prepared. To be prepared. As coaches, we've watched a good bit of film, and we had to watch it prior to our first practice this week. That way we could have quality practices, and then no one's looking ahead, but there's such a quick turnaround. We're looking at our potential second and even third round opponents. That way we're ready to just sort through all the stuff that doesn't matter and, kind of present the guys with a plan and try to go execute it. I kind of forgot your question, but with the, just this week, I mean, we're going to, I told the guys today, and they couldn't give me a good answer. I don't know of anyone in 3A and 4A that has played like we're playing in a long while.
Yeah.
I mean, at least since I've been around.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Northland does it in 1A, and that's different.
Yeah.
And that's fine, not better or worse. So we're going to go down there and we're going to just play our tail off and challenge people to run with us and play with us and rotate guys with us. And, maybe they might have especially if we play, Storm Lake or whatever, they got a guy that gets his name written down a lot. That's fine. But our 2 through 8 guys are better than theirs, or our 3 through 8 or 9 or whatever number you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to keep coming at you and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. What does it mean to you to have your folks up here?
Oh, it's special. You guys, your answers, with your dads or your parents, and when I talk about that, sometimes I'll say the biggest influence on my life outside of my parents was Coach Barnett, and so it depends on what we're talking about here, but that's my answer too. And then the more I've as I've gotten older, that coach was a special person to me, and he's the guy I drove back to Alabama to see that has cancer and still doing all right. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It's a long drive. And again, thank you for guys winning on Monday. But no, seriously, thanks for supporting and taking care of the twins and Jenna while I watch film and Joy goes to work. And it's been really nice to have that support. And they came up for, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was that COVID year. It was Ballard played in the last consolation.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sure.
Final
we
ever,
still have the constellation.
and they got rid of it, and we played Clear Creek Amana. I think they were here the game before for that, and then stayed for the consolation, and then COVID and all of that happened. So, always been really supportive of me, and then my brother and sister, and then our families and our grandkids and all of that. So,
sure.
Yeah, it's special. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, which is great. So I want to ask you a question. I want to share a little story with you. So. And I think that we talked about it on the phone a little bit, and I know it's not lost on you, and I don't think it's lost on anybody in here, but to make the state tournament like we have and to have a team like we have this year, it's something that is really quite incredible. And I grew up in a small town in Western South Dakota. I was telling Coach this story. They made one state tournament in basketball. It was 1972. And there was only 2 classes up there. And my dad tells a story that there was 3 dads. So you dads don't get crazy like this, but there was 3 guys, and one of them named was Leonard Fritzy. They stayed at the bar, and they stayed there for 16 hours after they made the state tournament. They ended up getting runners-up in state, but that was probably one of the biggest things that ever happened in my little town. So what I guess we need to understand is this is a really big deal, and you guys are really special people. And for us to be a part of this in this community, it's something that can never, ever be taken away from you, and don't ever take it for granted. But this stuff and how we're doing this and what you're doing, and I've got a little 9-year-old boy that's running around here, he thinks the sun rises and sets with you guys. And that's no accident. And Coach, for you to be steering this ship, and for us to really have a really, really, really good chance to win this whole thing, that's a big deal. It's a big freaking deal. So don't take it for granted. I know Coach isn't, but for some of it's like, oh, well, he made it again. He made it again. It doesn't happen for everybody. Coach, you've done a hell of a job this year. You've kind of switched things up a little, maybe outside of your comfort zone, but something that we had the dudes to do it, and they've taken and literally ran with it to a point. But I think I can speak on a lot of the community's behalf. We're really proud of you. We're really proud of this program and these guys. You represent yourselves and the community really well, and it's been a hell of a ride. I think I speak for everybody. I'd like to continue it on for about 6 more days here, if we could. So there's absolutely no pressure on you, Coach, at all. But how bad do you want it?
Well, you don't, and I write this is on top of the little play card I reference, and you don't ever permit the pressure to exceed the pleasure, and maybe it's vice versa. I don't know. Don't lose the enjoyment out of it, and you know we'll prepare. It's a little bit of a process oriented thing. We'll prepare. You know, we'll be relaxed, and most of the time that's led by me. Sometimes I get a little crazy or a little bit uptight, but I do try.
No, I can't believe it.
Try to be just kind of calm, and I got a job to do too, right?
Yeah.
You know, the guys go play, and coaches coach, and let the referees ref, and you know, I've done way less yelling at the referees in my career. And no, last year was not me getting ejected for yelling at the referee. It was because I stood up, which is a stupid rule.
Oh, trust me, I know, Coach.
That should be yeah. But anyhow, no, I mean I don't feel any pressure.
Sure.
You know, we're going to go do our thing. We've prepared well. We're going to go play our tails off, and you know, we'll have attention to detail. And I think the guys have done a good job from beginning of this year to now. Like, especially with the way we're playing, we don't have time to do anything else other than just go try to make the next play.
Yeah.
And you know, we've learned from that through good stretches, but also some poor ones as a group or individually. And so I think that's really been a difference, you know, from the beginning of this year to the end. And I think that's also the difference down there. There was a tweet, I sent it to the guys today, the group text, but from Ben McCollum, and he was talking about you can win with low character guys for a year, and this is of course in college, right? Because they recruit and all this stuff. But having high character individuals that work hard, that play for each other, and that are just tough. That's how you can win at a high level. And you know, I'm butchering the quote, but when I heard that, I thought of all of us, and that's why I sent it to the group. So maybe we can go back and listen to that again. But yeah, it's a special group. And that goes beyond the players, like the community and the program and the school. You know, I take great pride in trying to keep that and keep it moving in the right direction. And like you said, steering the ship. But it's not just me. It takes a ton of help, and it takes a village, starting with the coaching staff and then the players, and direct, you know, right there with them, or the parents, and then everybody else kind of beyond that. So
you bet. All right, Coach, you can get out of here. That's head coach Jeff Schertz. Thanks, Coach, for coming on.
Thanks.
Folks, that'll do it here. But just a few words. Shout out to the senior moms for putting this together again. Megan, Gina, Randy, Amber, all of you that were here and helped with this. It's really cool, and I think that some of these underclassmen would just as soon be a yearly thing, and it's kind of become a yearly thing. Me selfishly, guys, I can honestly tell you that these last 2 years have been incredibly fun to be a part of this, and with the network, I think I can speak for Dan and for Brock and for Todd and the guys that have called the games. It's been nothing short of sensational. And to watch you guys, and I think I was talking to some of the guys, and I was even talking to Russ Zimmerman, who was in here. I felt like last year it was like, all right, you know, we made it. That's really cool, and we're there, and it's fun. You guys have a different aura about you. There's something different, and it's not the same. And I don't think satisfied is the word, but I think that you're unsatisfied, and there's work to still be done. But you can feel it. There's a different energy, and there was a different energy in that gymnasium these last 3 games. And with what you guys have been able to do so far, I think that if you continue to do just what you've done and just what Coach talked about, you can win a state championship. And you can be a state champion, and you'll be a state champion forever. This isn't the biggest thing that's ever probably going to happen in your lives, but it's a piece of your lives that you'll get to have with you forever. And My dad sent me a message. He said, "You'll tell those guys that it doesn't cost anything to take care of each other." And it doesn't. You guys continue to take care of each other and play together, I think we could probably have a big celebration, maybe like on Friday night or something like that. But that would be the plan. But anyway, give a round of applause for our basketball players and the team and parents. Yes, parents, thank you for all that you do. And 12:15, Tuesday, Wells Fargo Arena. All right? Guys, good luck. Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate you.